Hi, my name is Lexi Berg, and for this assignment, I created a poem titled The Bonds We Form. So in this video, I'm going to explain the themes in the poem, and then I'm also going to connect them back to the key concepts that we've learned throughout this course on adolescent development. So this poem explores the significance of relationships we form throughout our lives, specifically peer relationships, romantic love, and self-awareness, and how all of these relationships influence our development. So I'll also reflect on how these concepts apply to my personal life and how they could fit into my future career. So here's the poem. The poem is called The Bonds We Form. We weave our bonds with threads of care, and friendship's love we choose to share. The way we listen, the way we speak, a silent touch when words are weak. Through every laugh, through every tear, we learn the ways to draw us near. Peers who shape us, friends who guide, and their reflections we recite. But love, it's different, deeper still, a dance of hearts, bending will. What we need, what we crave, is built on trust, on love, on brave. In the quiet spaces, words unspoken, we find the truth, the bond unbroken. We give and take, we learn to see the language of love, both you and me. But what of self and all we do, the life we live, the dreams we pursue? Balance, a dance between the two, our health, our joy, both tried and true. Attachment's roots run deep inside, yet self-awareness is our guide. Work and play, love and care, and finding balance we're made aware. Of habits formed and lessons learned, of moments earned and bridges burned, we hold the threads, we stitch the seams, creating life's fulfilling dreams. So peers and partners, love and life, each thread we weave through joy and strife tells of the growth, the change, the flow, the ties we weave, the seeds we sow. So now that I've shared the poem, I want to break it down and just explain how the themes connect to the concepts that we've learned in this course. So the first section of the poem is about peer relationships and specifically how we shape each other. So the line like peers shape us, friends who guide, in their reflection we reside, highlights the influence our friends and peers have on like our identity and the development of that. In adolescence, peers are incredibly influential and they help us learn about ourselves. So this connects back to the Erikson's theory of psychosocial development, where particularly this stage of identity versus role confusion. We often explore who we are through our relationships with our peers, so that's why I included that. I also mentioned the ways we communicate with friends and how we listen and speak and offer emotional support to them. This reflects the importance of empathy and emotional intelligence, which are both very essential things for building strong and healthy friendships. Then the poem shifts over to romantic relationships, and I describe love as a dance of hearts, a bending will, which symbolizes the vulnerability and trust and respect that you need in a deep relationship. This mirrors the concept we discussed in the course about attachment theory, which is basically suggesting that our early emotional bonds with caregivers influence how we form romantic relationships later on in life. So I said in the poem, in love, just like in the dance, we need to learn how to give, take, trust, and communicate. Or I didn't say that exact thing, but that's basically explaining what I did say. And so that also connects to emotional regulation, which is how we manage our emotions in intimate relationships. And then finally, the poem explores self-awareness and balance, which is really important in relationships. The lines balance, a dance between the two, our health, our joy, both tried and true, reflects the importance of balancing our emotional and social needs along with our personal needs. So adolescents as well as adults need to maintain a sense of balance in their lives. So throughout this course, we've learned how different aspects of adolescent development, relationships with peers, romantic partners, and ourselves interact with the shape of your overall development for your identity. So for example, the attachment theory has been key in understanding how many childhood relationships influence our ability to form secure relationships and like deeper relationships later on in life. So in my poem, the line, "What we need, what we crave, is built on trust, on love, on brave," represents the foundation of emotional bonds in romantic relationships. Another important course concept is identity development, especially the challenges of navigating the identity versus role confusion stage during adolescence. So in the poem, when I refer to peers who shape us, friends who guide us, it highlights how we rely on other people to help us understand who we are. So it's not just us helping understand who we are ourselves, like other people play a big factor in that. And finally, the idea of balance in this poem reflects our course discussions on the importance of self-awareness and emotional regulation, and also self-care in maintaining healthy relationships and also for yourself. And these are all important to adolescent development as young people work to balance school, relationships, family, personal growth, etc. So writing this poem allowed me to reflect on how these concepts are not just academic but truly important in everyday life. And personally, I've learned how important it is to nurture my relationships, whether with friends or romantic partners or even just with myself. I've realized that the most fulfilling relationships are those that are based on trust and balance. So as I move forward in my career, as particular in speech pathology, because that's what I'm planning on doing, I can see how understanding adolescent development will be incredibly useful, whether I'm working with like young kids or adults or even teenagers. And I will need to use a lot of these principles to help people build healthy relationships with other people and themselves. So to conclude, I believe that the bonds we form throughout our lives, whether with peers, romantic partners, or ourselves, are essential to our growth and development. The lessons I've learned from this course on how relationships shape our identity, emotional well-being, and self-awareness will help guide me throughout my life, both in like my personal life and professional life. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my poem and what I've gotten out of this class.